Welcome, reading one. Today we are taking messages from the Crystal Oracle. I have a feeling we're not going to pull any more cards than the one that is in each reading, because I feel like these are crystals that specifically want to speak with you or work with you or all of the above. Also, right out the gate, I'm getting, before we even look at your card, I'm getting that some of you, it just might be for one person, but I bought this lotion yesterday that I don't normally buy, but I have bought it in the past and I liked it. And I got a huge yes from Spirit for me to use it. Long story short, I put some other oils on my hands before that, and then I put the lotion on. And as I'm sitting here, I'm like, oh, I'm like, what is that smell? And I smell my hands, and I'm like, ew, I'm like, it's my hands. I'm like, what the fuck? So I'm hearing that for some of you, and it was worth going through that for you, because the truth is, I do like the lotion, but I realize that, we forget that chemistry is a real thing. So it could be that maybe you're mixing things together that when they come together, it's not good. And interestingly enough, who's ever going through this is segueing into a relationship too. Like I said, we're just taking messages from Spirit right now. And specifically, your main focus will be this crystal energy. Had no idea how this was going to go down. But, I do as I do, especially when the portal is open. I don't hold back, because this isn't about me. It's about you. I may think it's going to go a certain way, but it's not about me. And maybe that's a message for somebody too. I feel like right there we've got like 3 separate messages. So if this isn't like connecting with you right now, this might not be your reading. There are 3 other readings. So whatever you were drawn to, or it could even be that maybe that you were drawn to one of the other readings as well, and they want you to go watch that first and then come back and watch this. It's like when you watch something, or read a book or an article, or whatever. You need the context of the whole story. So you need to go from beginning to end. And I also feel like for some of you, that's why you're not getting to where you want to be, because you want to just skip from 1 to 10, and Spirit's like, no, you have to go through the whole thing, the whole gamut. And it doesn't matter what you think or believe it should be, or how long you think it should be, right? Everything is in divine timing. And the second you release that control, not only are you going to feel more free, because I promise you, as someone who this has been something I have been dealing with for 50 plus years, because my whole family, both sides, there was a lot of controlling, a lot of game playing, a lot of manipulation. And, a lot of them, they came by it honestly. It was just a different time. And we can see right now how some of these old school, political leaders and religious groups, how they're trying so desperately to hold on to this, millennia, of control. And now things have changed. Ooh, interesting. My refrigerator just went on. I feel like, maybe somebody who just got, by Jove, I think just got it. Maybe you just got a little light bulb moment. But if Spirit calls me to, I'm gonna, well, actually, I think, yeah, I posted it on this channel. It's somebody new that came into my orbit, so new that I don't even know their name or the name of their channel right now. I just know that Spirit called me to watch this video, and then they called me to post it on this channel. So look in the community section. If you are a subscriber on this channel, you are more than welcome to post in the community section. If I don't think it's appropriate, I'll let you know, and I'll take it off. But it's about sharing the light and all that good stuff. Obviously, if somebody comes to my channel and they just subscribe and they're trying to plug their channel or something like that, I mean, I'm going to see right through that, right? So bye-bye. And nothing against that. We love you. But, it's different if our tribe, like you're a real part of this tribe, and you're like, hey, you guys, I have this channel, please let us know your channel, send us your links so that we can support you. Not everybody will, but you know, some people may. It's like that's how we find each other, is through each other. We're all just, you know, we're all weaving webs all the time, everywhere we go, everything we do, everything we say. And in real time, today is October 8th, which is also the number 9. And we are in a 9-year, and 8 is reminiscent of the spider, right? They have the hourglass shape, and then they have the 8 legs. And you know, spiders get a bad rep. They're actually really magical and amazing, and they do so much for the environment. So like today, I had a situation where I don't even know how they got in, but they must have got in yesterday. My partner was working on our house, and I'm sure he probably had windows and the door open and stuff. You know, he's doing construction. So sometimes they come in and they hide. So this morning I was just like, where'd you come from? And there was this little, beautiful little baby fly. And I was like, hey, I'm like, are you lost? And I said, if you want to go outside and you are not meant to be spider food, I said, crawl onto this napkin and I will lovingly put you outside. There's no fear. And they got right on it, and I opened the door and I put them outside, and I'm like, bye-bye, go live a long life. And then like a short while later, I'm like, a bigger one shows up, and I'm like, how did you get in here? You know? And I was like, what's happening? And then I said the same thing to them, and it was really sweet because they crawled onto the napkin, and I said, hold on, old man, because it felt like an older, like male energy. It was really interesting. That's why I'm telling this story. It's so interesting. Right, this old patriarchal like energy. It just felt like this energy, and they crawled on the napkin. They liked my voice. They knew that it was, you know, good and everything. But the second we started to walk outside, they flew off, and I go, oh, I guess you're spider food. And I said, well, thank you. And I said a blessing for their life and thank them for their service. And they haven't been around. They helped me do a few more things, and then, you know, they're probably here somewhere, but you know, they'll be here until they get tired, and there's probably a spider in here that I'm not aware of that will come and retrieve them. You know, they can smell them. So, you know, each of us have such a, I just got the chills. Each of us have such a key part on this planet, you know, even down to the spiders and the flies. And I love October because it's about life, death, and rebirth all at once, you know, because when we're coming out of winter and going into spring, it's about regeneration. The death, we've already gone through the death. Now we're ready for the new life. And harvest is about both, because we're bringing in, you know, all the good stuff before the frost, right? Because when the frost comes in, most things won't grow. You know, there are, of course, some hardy spirits that will still keep growing and provide food and herbs and all that, but not all of them. And so it's very powerful. Even my strawberry plant, Spirit called me to watch this video, and I was going to bring her in because she's just so beautiful right now, and she's still flowering and she's still producing strawberries. Sugar Pop, I love her. She's amazing. And they said, no, she wants to stay outside. And I was like, oh, okay. And they're like, you know, and then I watched, you know, this video and showed like how to like, you know, cut her down and like do all that stuff. But they need a freeze. They need the freeze state so that they can produce really juicy berries next season. And they're giving you these beautiful analogies with fruit and herbs because they are pushing really hard for us to take better care of ourselves. You know, especially with the processed foods. I get it. You have big families. You know, I watch so many videos. They come into my orbit. I watch so many videos with like working moms, you know, they have their channel and then they've got children and, you know, and a husband, like, you know, the whole family thing, the whole family dynamic. And they'll use like organic blueberries, frozen, whatever. And I see them apologizing. I do the same thing sometimes when I'm making food videos. I'm like, oh, you know, sometimes you need this in a pinch. In a pinch is good, but when you're doing it every day, it's like, it's not good, and it's not good for the environment or support companies that their packaging is something that can go back into the earth. You know, we are realizing now just like how horrible and toxic plastic really is to Gaia. You know, when people are like, well, it comes from the earth. I mean, it was just made. I'm like, yes, and I get what they're saying, but right, sometimes people want to play both sides to the middle to get the answer that they want. And this applies, this is very applicable to your situation, each of you individually. And I feel like while you're listening to this, while you're hearing these channelings and these messages from spirit, you're each getting your own story, whatever's coming up for you, whatever's triggering for you. That's why sometimes I like doing the readings like the podcast Prophet, where there's no pictures. And I'm glad that we did so many of our Sacred Sundays. If you're interested in it, we did a 19-week series, or 19-episode series called Sacred Sunday. And I'll put a link in the description box for the playlist. If not, just look at my playlist, you'll find it. But there were some really good pearls in there. And we started out one way and ended in another way. And it was just really profound. And I think it had a lot to do with, just the shadow aspect and going into the eclipse season. And it was just really intense. So I am happy and humbled to be able to hold space for everybody when Spirit calls me to do so. And I just want you to know that I love you so much and Spirit loves you. And these are not to be taken in a negative way. These are just pearls of wisdom to help you move forward in your, in the direction that you need to go on your path. And, it's one of those things, right? Like, you're never going to make a bad decision, Spirit said. You're never going to make a poor decision, or whatever languaging you want to use. You're never going to make a poor choice, because you're either going to learn a lesson or a memory or an experience, but either way, it's going to be an experience, right? And so if you look at it like that, I'm feeling a lot of anxiety that maybe some of you are like, I don't know what to do, or am I on the right path? And, if you let's put it this way, they're showing me the analogy. Do you ever see like those toys that can walk, or those cars that can drive, right? But not just by a remote control, but like you wind it up, the old school ones, right? Or you put batteries in it and you flip on a switch and it walks or it drives. But if it runs into a wall, it's going to keep going, right? It keeps going, but it keeps going into the wall. They're like, you'll know when to shift gears, because when you keep banging into that fucking wall enough that your head hurts, whether literally or metaphorically, you know what I mean? You'll know what to do. You'll know which, path to take, which tack to take, which, you'll know. And they want you to have more of a belief in yourself. Because right now, this is the thing. People, when we have the eclipses, people are like, oh, cool, whatever. And then they're over. But they don't realize and recognize that they carry energy. So to have a dark moon and to have that, it means that this energy is carrying on. So we are on the 8th. But we have the new moon in Libra on the 21st. And then Scorpio comes in the next day on the 22nd. So it's going to shift really fucking quickly. But right now we're kind of in this like, earth energy. We're really earthbound. We're really grounded. And it's also a pentacle energy, which could be about finances, home, wealth, security. So people are sticking in that, I don't want to change, being very stubborn. We just had the full moon in Aries, less than 48 hours ago. And when we have that during a dark moon cycle, we must remember that the moon that it's in, it's going to heighten a lot of their shadow attributes and abilities. And with Aries, I love me some Aries. Some of my most beautiful, cherished friends in my life are Aries. And the one thing that I really honor and respect is their go-getter, never give up, like, I'm going to do it until I do it, and there's something really admirable about that. But there's also an ego side of that they carry, where they're like, I have to be the best. I'm going to do this. And if they say they do it, then they really got to do it, right? Like they got to put up or show up. And then this kind of trickles down to this self-loathing. And so this moon was really powerful at the end of this dark moon cycle, because it's bringing us into an energy that we haven't been in many a millennia, because we have shifted into the 5th dimensional energy. There's absolutely positively nothing that these old energies can do to stop it. They're doing their best. We must give them props for doing their best, right? They're doing their best. But then we've got people like this beautiful character that I spoke of, that I want you to go watch their video, and it's in the community section, but I'm going to put a link in the description box too. She's beautiful. You can't miss her. She's like super witchy, red hair. And the thing I love about her is she's got the fucking goods to back it up. Meaning, like, this is somebody who came from a Christian nationalist background, who studied, you know, in Israel. She is no joke. Spirit put a few things of hers into my, I subscribed to her through Bubba the Great. One time I was on Bubba the Great's channel, and I just like went on and saw her, and I was like, ooh, I'm like, who's this witchy queen? You know, I'm like, oh my God. Like, I was so pulled in. I'm like, she's so fucking magical. Like, I felt like I was looking at like a cross between Freya, Xena the warrior princess, remember? I can't think of her name, the actress, but like her as Xena, like I felt like that, like in her youth in that time period. And who was the other one? It'll come to me. But anyway, I just like saw this powerful warrior, and I was like, oh, I'm so glad she's on our side. I just love her. I just love her. And I feel like that's what we need right now, is people who are fucking educated, you know, put up or shut up, you know, stop with the bullshit. And this is for you too. Spirit is like, it's time to put up or shut up. And also for some of you, maybe you're having headaches, or maybe you're having bad experiences because you're using fragrance items, whether it's your soap, your perfume, you know, your laundry detergent, anything. I mean, I get my lotions. I mean, I kind of make my own lotion anyway, but like the base part of lotion, I try to get it as clean as possible and absolutely unscented, because I have my own essential oils, and then I can change it when I want to, as I want to, if I want anything at all. Like right now, this was coconut, and I've had it before, and it's like really yummy. Like a really good friend of mine gave me this lotion before, and I fell in love with it, and I was super excited to get it. Cut to, I mixed it with these other things, and I'm like, oh, I don't know. Yeah, that lotion, because I just got this new face oil, which is magic, by the way. And if Spirit calls me to, I'll put something in the description box. Or no, I'll put something in the community section, like a picture or something, so you can check it out. But I found it at my local co-op, and it literally feels like you're putting silk on your face. Like literally feels like you're putting silk on your, like to the point where it goes in so beautifully that I'm like, is it on? And then like I go with my finger and I'm like, ooh, that's nice. And anyway, I digress. But it really is the combo, because I'm pretty sure they haven't changed this lotion. You know what I mean? It's either that or it's mislabeled, because it was one of the first times I ever got it at the co-op, like out of like the bulk. I usually get it in a different way, but I wanted to try something different. So maybe this is a message for you too, you know, to create your own scents, or to create your own, you know, and knowing where the essential oils come from. There are so many really powerful, magical creatures out there that are creating really beautiful blends, or, you know, even just like the straight oil. I myself am going to be creating some really awesome oils this winter. I don't know if Spirit's going to have me sell them next year or what's going to happen, but I have more mugwort than anybody could. I mean, it's almost crazy how much fucking mugwort. It's almost crazy how much mugwort I have, but it's so fucking cool. And that is so awesome. So I know that Spirit, I can't imagine. I mean, I definitely want to do some experiments. And maybe this is a message from Spirit to you, wink, wink, you know, to play with plants this winter. For those of you who are in the Northern Hemisphere, in the Southern Hemisphere, you know, maybe it's to grow different herbs and spices this year, so that when you come into harvest, you'll have some really magical things to create, you know, your own, what, you know, face oils or lotions or whatever. Everybody's skin is different. So that's it for the channeling messages. They're cutting to the quick. We are going to get ready for your ears. Ooh, when I looked up, it was 1841. So if that means anything to anybody, and it could be adding them all together, you know, we have a lot of numerology and Akashic record people here. With that being said, all of a sudden my back started hurting really bad. And like my, I'm going to stand up for a minute. And my stomach, like, I feel like for some of you, it's digestive. Do you know if you rub your tummy, I'm doing it. Do you know if you rub your tummy clockwise over your belly button, it actually soothes digestion, and it helps to move the gas out of your body, whether through belching or farting. It is what it is. You know what I mean? And I mean, yesterday, it was really funny because Alder and I, when we were like really tight and we lived together, like we would we were so like, you know, he taught me how to burp talk, and like he helped me to like, you know, I mean, I had a guy before him that was like that too, which I love, but you know, there is something about that. Like if you can't burp and fart in front of your significant other, there's something really wrong. Even your friends, if you're like, I need to excuse myself, I have to go fart, you know what I mean? Or just go excuse yourself or whatever and come back, you know, whatever. But it's natural. Don't hold it in. I feel like some of you may be at work or something. I just saw somebody sitting behind a desk, and when you have to fart, you hold it in. And I'm like, Spirit's like, go outside, go for a walk really quick and be like, I need a breath of fresh air, you know, or just go to the bathroom and fucking fart. Like, who cares? People fart. It's part of nature. And laugh if you want to, you know. Okay, so that's for somebody. Also, stretching, yoga. If you didn't watch the last Picker reading over the full moon in Aries, I really highly recommend you watch it. If Spirit calls me to, I will put a link in the description box. But it is so, so good. I'm pulling the heater over. It's a little chilly in here. It's so, so good. There are so many messages that came through in all of those readings, and they were all so different, but yet they linked together. It was really cool. Okay, so we're going to ring some bells, and then we're going to, you can ring my bell, ring my bell. I feel like that was for my oldies, right? For my oldies and goodies. Okay, so prepare yourself if you have earbuds in. We're going to do some clearing before we reveal your crystal message. Take in some deep breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth. And really breathe in. And sometimes you just want to let it out. Let's do like one of those. We haven't done this in a while. Let's just let it out. Let it out. It might be loud. I can't tell you. I don't know what's going to come in and out. Okay, so stretch. All right, like get it out. Stretch it through. Stand up, do some stretches. Oh, that feels good. And if farts and burps come out, let them come out. Your body's releasing gas. Yes. They don't have me share those often. That was awesome. Spirit, you're the best. Also, they're having me wear one of my favorite green shirts. I don't really wear them in readings that much anymore because it's just so old. But I feel like some of you need to wear green more. But the reason why I love this shirt so much is not only is it vintage and I've worn it to death on top of that, but it's the color. It's the shade of green. So, you know, maybe wear a green, maybe start wearing like a green shamrock pin like over your heart. You know, like your not just your heart chakra, but like over your heart, you know, and it's showing the universe that you're open and ready for abundance. Pink and green are colors that are connected with the heart chakra, and everything starts with the heart chakra. That's why it's in the center of our body. You know, it's part of that. It's meant to be there for a reason. Drink some water. It's also smack dab in the middle of our chakras. Okay, so here we go. Oh, moonstone. So I asked Spirit if they wanted me to put the crystals with each one, and they were like, no. And I said, why? And they said, because I don't want them to choose that way, because maybe you have a favorite stone or a favorite crystal. And they're like, this is about the message from this crystal, and this is about working with this crystal. So just to let you know, I've decided to grow my nails out, and I started painting them and all that. And Spirit wants me to, I'm waiting because today in real time is Wednesday, but on Friday I am working at a fundraiser for this witches walk that they do in Port Townsend. This is the 4th annual one, and so I am so blessed and honored that they asked me to be a reader at their fundraiser event. And I've been experimenting with nail polish, and long story short, I'm going to try not to use nail polish remover and just go naturally, like paint them when I'm meant to paint them. So in 2 days, I'm going to paint them again and like do like a nice like little manicure. But for now, as my friend used to say, they're my little boy hands. I mean, I just didn't want, for those of you who know that I've been talking about this, I didn't want you to think I gave up that easily. I didn't give up that easily. So this is my moonstone. I love this moonstone. Now listen, they're not having me put any lights on right now. If they want me to get the flashlight, I will. And maybe they want you to see it this way. Or, here, hold on. I'm going to zoom you in. So here's the moonstone. I love this moonstone because when I first, is this the one Anna gave me? I don't know, because this might be the one Anna gave me, because I was going to say it either is or it's one, because sometimes I choose them specifically because they have like a blemish. Do you see that opal? Do you see this opalescent coming here? That's so magical. But I love this because it reminds me of a whale. It also looks like a shark. I think it can look like anything you want it to look like. So I'll let you scry and see, like maybe it's a koi fish, you know what I mean? But I do definitely feel like it's a sea creature. Oh, I don't know. That kind of looks like a dragon. And it kind of looked like a seahorse too. So it is whatever you want it to be. But I was feeling this really powerful energy from the moonstone. And I feel like they want me to light another candle, because I was like, do you want me to put the flashlight on? They're like, no. So I'm going to light another candle right now, and I'm going to put it in front of it. It's just so you can get a little more. Maybe they'll have me do this. I'm always really like careful, because even though I put all these like stones and crystals, this is a vintage mirror that it's on. This was my grandmother's, my witchy grandma. But I'm very particular about putting candles on there because I don't want anything to happen to it. And I know it won't. Like, I know spirits, oh, listen to me. I just was talking about certain things. Okay. I feel like they're like, no, the animal's done. I feel like the opalescent is for somebody. Or maybe you need that energy right now. I don't know. So let's see what the book has to say. And I'm going to ring the bell. Okay, yeah. I mean, I also feel like maybe there's somebody in your orbit who's wearing, I'm hearing and seeing gardenias. Like, I feel like somebody, so I don't know who this is for. It could be somebody who crossed over because my grandma, you know, look at the way they had this. They had me set this up specifically like this, by the way. Look at how fucking gorgeous it looks. It's so beautiful. Oh, I just got the chills. But I feel like someone's grandmother is here. I'm hearing Gladys, and and then I'm feeling and smelling gardenias. And I know because it's a very specific smell. Or it could be somebody that I also feel like it's somebody that you work with. Maybe they're older and they wear like a gardenia perfume and it makes you sick or gives you a headache. I feel like those are the little things those are the little wink winks that spirit is sending you to tell you that you're not in the right place. I don't know. That might just be even for one person. Okay, so here are your keywords to work with, okay? Fertility, reflection, intuition, imagination, goddess energy, and amplified feelings. And interesting that we were just talking about all this stuff about the moon. Also, when I looked up for a split second, it was 2804. And I feel like it could be like April 28th, or it could mean something else. It could be an age and like the month of April. I don't know. But it felt like, you know how in some country, like in America, we put, you know, April, we would put April 28th first, you know, April 1st, but in like, I know in the UK, they put 28th of April, right? So, however that, I feel like that's just a message for somebody. Okay. So, during the appearance of the next full moon, your emotions and fears will be amplified and you will at times think you are going crazy. However, keep your calm, for this condition will only last a few days. Also, you guys, we just came out of the full moon energy, so maybe something happened with that, or it could be that the next 2 moons, we've got super moons. And like I said, you know, the next cycle is going to be Libra and Scorpio. Libra is air and Scorpio is water. And if you get air and water together, you know, that can be a really volatile energy and experience, especially coming out of this shadow energy. So I'm hearing from spirit, like, take a beat, take a breath. My whole body just got the chills, like literally. So that message is, oh, it's really deep now. There's someone I feel like, I feel like there's some scalping. Seriously, I feel like I just had like angels like just put their like hands through my body. But they want you to know that you're really protected. That's the main thing. You just need to know you're protected. Some of you are freaking out because it's just too much reality. It's just too much fucking reality for you. And they're like, we get it, we understand, but it is what it is, and they don't want you to get too entangled into, because it's not really reality. You know what I'm saying? It's not real. What you think and feel about the universe is real. The earth shit is the earth shit. Like the third dimensional energy is like, yes, that's what's happening on earth. That's what's been happening on earth. But like the fifth dimensional energy that came back in, the waves of like the star seeds, we were brought back here to like kind of reboot mankind, so to speak, humankind. Sorry, that was just like an old programming, but right, like we were here to reboot humankind. This beautiful angel that I was talking about, this vixen, this red-haired vixen, she speaks about that. And as somebody who grew up as with a very Southern Baptist Christian mother, it is very interesting to hear her speak of certain things. I'm like, dude, that's exactly how I felt when I was going to church, or that's it. I'm like, yeah. And she's like, what kind of bullshit is that? Like, you know, and seriously, go watch the video, but also watch other things. If they have me to, I'll pull some other videos, but just watch like her shorts and things like that. She explains things very well. And she's going by like, you know, history books. Not everybody likes the history books. You know, in World War II, Hitler destroyed a lot of history and art and things because he wanted to rewrite history. He was literally trying to rewrite history, and there were a lot of other people that wanted to join in and do that. That's exactly what's happening right now. It's exactly what's happening right now, but it's just on a more heightened level. The difference is in World War II, we didn't have the internet. We had newspapers and people could write whatever. Now we're like, yeah, we have AI and that, but you know, savvy people know the difference between AI, and other people they'll let themselves be snowed in bullshit and say, oh, that's real, but deep down they know. You know what I mean? So just keep to what you know and what you feel, and don't buy into the bullshit, because it's the bullshit that's pulling you back, because you know better. By the way, my eyes keep coming here. Like, I feel like some of you want to know what this is. This is a bloodstone. Work with bloodstone and moonstone. Now listen, you do not have to go and buy them if it's not something that's in your wheelhouse to do, but if you can, absolutely. Bloodstone is just a good one to have around, especially if you're feeling like you're, you know, not feeling well. If, you know, this is that time of year with the seasons change, and, you know, and people are spring cleaning and dust is, you know, settling and all that kind of stuff. So, you know, harvest. I mean, I was actually curious to see how my partner would do in here yesterday, because they have grass allergies, and they said a lot of people who have grass allergies usually have an allergy to mugwort too. But I kept it in here. I mean, I put it in the bathroom and like kind of sealed it up, but it was only with like, you know, like a tablecloth, like a cotton tablecloth. It wasn't like it was like sealed up. He would, and there were, the spores were everywhere, and he didn't say anything about it. When I saw him, he was fine, and I was like, that's interesting. So that might be for somebody too. Also, if you were drawn to this one, this is a carnelian, and that's another really good one to work with during healing. And if I think it's carnelian, I'm almost positive. But I think carnelian is a self-cleaning crystal like selenite, I believe, but look it up. It's been a minute. And this is rose quartz. So these are the crystals that want to work with you. Moonstone, bloodstone, carnelian, and rose quartz. I'm going to finish reading this, but then it's your mission. Oh, when I looked up, it was 33. Are you seeing lots of threes? Your mission, should you choose to accept it, is, if you can do so after this, go and research each one of these crystal and put in, you know, moonstone, spiritual meaning, you know, moonstone, healing properties, and same thing with each one, you know. Find out what they're good for, what their uses are, where to place them, you know, for the best result, those kind of things. Moonstone is one of those that when I was in my early stages of my awakening, one of my witchy sisters kept trying to, oh, my throat chakra, kept trying to push moonstone on me. Now at the time, I didn't understand what she was doing. It was beautiful jewelry. Drink some water. Also, I'm hearing, don't forget that we're getting into that energy of like dry heat, right? Like when we're indoors. So I'm hearing, make sure that you know, get your ducts clean, get your, you know, put lavender and like, you know what I mean? Like look at ways of like having your house be a more productive environment. I'm really getting that, especially because we're still in the Virgo moon, and Virgos are really known for their cleanliness, their tidiness, and everything having a place. I feel like for some of you, a lot of your mental clutter is because you need to, your mental and emotional clutter is because it's like, is that an oxymoron? I don't know. I just heard that word. You know, for like the rest of your life, really, which would be more of a metaphor, I would think. But I don't know, maybe that's for somebody. But anyway, I'm just hearing like, it's like time to clean it up, like every single aspect of your life. You know, what cleaning products are you using? You know what I mean? Like they're getting very, very real. We are still in the, you know, we're shedding our skin in the year of the snake, but we're going to keep hammering a lot of certain things home until February when we go into the year of the horse. But right now, they just want you to work with these healing energies and these healing properties. And like I said, if you can get the crystals, that's awesome. If you don't have anywhere you can go, look for some trusted sites. Etsy's really good for that, except for Etsy used to be where you can only have like handmade goods or like real goods. And now I've heard that they're allowing like other shit. So Spirit told me to get off Etsy. I haven't been back on. I don't know. Or maybe they cleaned it up. But sometimes that happens, you know, they get bought by a parent company or something like that. But anyway, you know, certain crystals and stones, you need to be really mindful. So the best way to do it is go into a crystal shop. And maybe that's like something for you to do. Maybe it's time to take yourself on an adventure. Maybe there's a crystal shop, but it's like a 6-hour drive. And you're like, you know what? I'm going to treat myself and I'm going to go and spend the night, or see if you know somebody in the area and be like, hey, can I spend the night? There's tons of like Airbnbs and things like that now, you know. But I just am feeling like then that way you can go in and feel the moonstone, feel the bloodstone, feel the carnelian, feel the rose quartz, you know, feel that connection, especially when there's lots of pieces. Sometimes it's, you know, small ones like this, and sometimes, you know, they're bigger ones. You know, look at this amethyst. I mean, she's a big chunk of munka, right? So, and knowing your people, like this dealer was a really good friend. Became a friend over getting crystals from them for years, but I don't know if you guys can see how big this really is, but I got this from them, I think for like maybe $30. It's so heavy and it's really magical. She needs a good cleaning, but it's super fucking magical. It's so heavy. I can barely hold it up like that. Oh, you can feel it. I just like put it down. You felt like you saw my camera jump. You know, but there's really magical pieces, and sometimes it's like, it's not about the crystal being cheap, right? Like this one, it's like, it's a work of art. Oh, here I'm hearing pull out, and look at it, pull out. Sorry, my little Beavis and Butthead side of me. But you know what I mean? It's like, it looks like a mountain. It's like a tower. I mean, so it's so personal. And when you go on the hunt, it just feels so good. And like, there are so many here that you guys have gifted me over the years. There's a bunch in there from Zoe too. So, you know, it's like when you're drawn to it, you're drawn to it. Oh, I just got the chills. And I always love presents. Who doesn't love presents? And especially crystal presents. Those I think are my most favorite. I mean, all presents are good, you know, right? I mean, for the most part. But you hear what I'm saying. Okay, so listen. I'm going to go back to this part, but they wanted me to talk about all that, so it's okay. It says, I'm just going to start over. During the appearance of the next full moon, your emotions and fears will be amplified, and you will at times think you are going crazy. However, keep your calm, for this condition will only last a few days. During this time, you will find yourself reflecting on your life, both past and present. You will gain deep insights as to the nature of true happiness and begin to reassess your priorities. After the full moon, a fertile period in your life begins, full of many exciting challenges and changes. Many new and rewarding friendships will be formed as you embark on new and creative ventures. This is all the result of the reflective light of the moon. So give thanks to her for her wisdom and embrace the blessings coming your way. Yay, reading one. Yeah. So, this clutter is going to clear, and, each of you individually, like, you're going through what you need to go through, and just lean into it. Go with the flow of it. You can't avoid it. It's coming. It's here. You know what I mean? So they're saying, love yourself through it. Be gentle with yourself through it. Use these. That's why the rose quartz is so important, because the rose quartz will remind you, especially holding it over your heart chakra, which is like, the rose quartz is like, if the heart chakra had a flag, it'd be the rose quartz, I think, because it's so powerful, and each one of them have such strong healing properties. It's almost like all of the senses, like in all of those stones, in a way. It's really interesting, as above, so below, and all the way around. So let's see, do we have any more messages for reading one before we part? Okay, you guys, we do not, but if you'd like to work with me one-on-one or contribute to this channel in any way, all of that information is in the description box. I love you, Spirit loves you, and we'll see you at the next reading. Blessed be. Oh, love you, bye. Welcome, reading 2. When I started, it was at 4017, and you guys know that's a big number for us. 17 is a big number for our tribe, which is also the number 8, and 4 is half of 8. And I have to tell you, when I was putting this together, reading 2, I felt so much apprehension, little anxiety, but building your altar was something I haven't felt in a long time, meaning like, it was a really big struggle, and it made me realize that some of you are so deep in the shadow right now, and I'm feeling a lot of confidence issues from a lot of people. But long story short, once I put in these big crystals around your card, you opened up, the gateway was open, I just got the chills, and I felt welcomed into your space. So just know that this is a safe space for you. You are welcome here. You are loved. And whatever message is in that card is a message of love, support, and to take away any concerns you may have at this time. This is very different from reading 1. I'm literally jumping right into the card. Okay, so let's see what it says. So we have, the carnelian. Okay, so for some of you, if you were drawn to reading 1, you may want to go and listen to it. There was a lot of pearls in there. In fact, right out the gate, I felt like there was like kind of 3 readings in one reading. And the carnelian is right here. I asked them if they wanted me to, put the stone in front of, I feel like they want this to be, I don't want it to fall on the candle. Okay, I was going to say, I felt like it wanted to be out there. And they said no, because a lot of times people have a strong affinity to some crystals, and they didn't want people to choose on the crystal. They wanted people to choose on like what is in their greatest and highest good. Also, this wanted to come in, but I didn't know when or where, this heart, and I'm feeling like it wants to go right here. So however it falls or whatever, I feel like it's meant to go there. Also, when I was putting yours together, I felt like such a real yummy, like celebratory, shiny crystal. Let's just be fairies and have fun energy. So this could be for our fairy energy. I'm trying to find a good lighting for you guys. It's one of those days. I live in the Pacific Northwest, and it's one of those days that it's like rainy and kind of dark and moody. I love these kind of days, actually, because I feel like this is when I really get to just hunker down and connect with spirit. So that's what spirit's saying too. Look at how beautiful. I got to take a picture of how pretty your altar is. Reading 1's altar was really pretty too. But anyway, so carnelian is one of my favorites because it's a really deep healing energy. I do have crystal books. I asked Spirit if they wanted me to bring out any books to tell you more about it, and they said no. Like, part of this reading, the extension of this reading, is for you to go and study on your own and work with carnelian. If it's in your wheelhouse to do so, make sure you go and acquire some. Getting the crystals and stones in person is the best way to do it, because online, unless it's a trusted source, or if you like a store or you hear of a store, say, hey, can you recommend, an online source, or do you guys have an online, pictures of things? But a lot of times, touching it is really important. So this one, carnelian, here are the key words. It says healing, creativity, energy, calmness, grounding, stability. This wonderful crystal offers you protection and healing. It will help dissolve the sadness you have recently experienced, as well as calm your thoughts and ease any anxiety. Carnelian will also help you to express your emotions and stimulate your creativity. You are encouraged to take up a creative pursuit or hobby at this time. Start to express yourself in whatever way you choose, and without judgment. That's the key. Working with color will be especially helpful at this moment, for color can also help to stabilize and heal your emotions. Over the coming days, you will begin to feel a renewed sense of peace, joy, and wonderment for life. Give thanks for the wondrous blessing you are receiving. Wow. Also, if I'm correct, I believe carnelian is also good at helping stimulate sexuality. But either way, it's orange in color, even though it may have hues of red. It is orange in color. It's very fiery. And so I would work with the sacral chakra, which is also connected to our sexuality and our healing. And it could be for some of you that that's where the healing needs to start to take place, is in your sacral chakra. So work with your sacral chakra. If you're not in the practice of doing it, start working on balancing your chakras. Either find a local, yoga studio or Reiki, or someone who you can work with and walk you through it. I think the first experience working with a Reiki who really concentrates on chakras, because all Reikis are different. And I've learned, I am a Reiki myself, but then I've also had Reiki given to me by many people. And so they all have each Reiki, person. I don't want to say master, because I just think, I guess everyone, I feel like if you are a Reiki, you're a Reiki master, right? I understand the whole levels and all that kind of stuff, but if you're a natural Reiki master, you don't need to jump through all the hoops and the bells and whistles, but you do need to go through the spiritual ascension practice, getting to be a Reiki master. And those who know, you understand what I'm saying, and those who don't, start researching it, start working with it. Okay. It's you don't go to one, yoga class and say, oh, I'm going to be a yoga teacher. It's no, well, you have to master yoga yourself, and then you can become a teacher, right? To be a teacher, we must master something. And even then, as teachers, we are still always learning and growing. I had a privilege of meeting this beautiful couple yesterday who, she just met him 2 years ago, and they were signing together. And I can tell, because she spoke to me, and I could tell that, she wasn't deaf. And long story short, I got to know them over the time that we spent in the laundromat. And let me tell you something. It was a fucking shit show yesterday. It was the full moon, super moon in Aries hit its peak at 8:42 p.m. where I live. So when I was at the laundromat, I was maybe 16 hours after the peak. When I got there, there were sheriff cars outside. I'm like, what the fuck happened? And I've been going to this laundromat for quite some time now. And I know the person that works there now. And anyway, long story short, all these crazy things happen. And I was like, Spirit, why did you choose this day? Why? It was just the machines got fucked up. My partner had dropped me off. I had to sit and wait. But the interesting thing was, I ended up I was working, you know what I mean? And they were working too, the people that helped me, and we had great conversations. And long story short, I met this amazing magical couple. And she was telling me, how she learned how to sign for him. And I said, you are amazing. She's like, well, I fell in love with them. She's like, what do you do? I want to be able to communicate with him. That's his language. And so it was really powerful. And I learned so much from them. And it made me realize that sometimes, we really are in the right place at the right time, even if it feels like we're in a shit storm, right? The only way I think I would have avoided a shit show would have not have left my house at all. But even then, sometimes we need to be in the storm. I was in the eye of it, and even when I started to load the machines, when I got there, it was really full, and all this shit had happened. This guy had just done all, he vandalized the laundromat, and it's a long story. But anyway, what was so interesting about it was that I was going to start with this other load of I had this big load of like towels and, whatever. And I always like to get those in first because they take a while to dry. And they were like, no, put your rugs in. And I was like, well, rugs I don't care so much about, because even though they take a while to dry, it was still really nice outside. And I was like, I can always, put them back outside, the next day. I don't want to waste, Anyway, long story short, they had me put the rugs in first with the only machine that was open. And then like all these things happen, and like in the end, it was perfect. And my rugs actually got really dry because it was so busy and so many people were using the dryers that it was like the placement of where my rugs were. They were on, it was like 2 tiers of dryers at the laundromat, and I was on the upper tier, and heat rises, right? And I remember one time at the laundromat, the worker there said, always go for the top loaders if you can. I said, oh no, I do. I don't like to, crawl down and find my shit. They're like, no, heat rises. They're like, it's all metal. They're like, that's where you want, And so I couldn't believe it. By the time, during those 2 hours or whatever, I just kept plugging it with quarters. I was just like, whatever, and I don't normally do that, but they actually got really dry and they felt really good. Like because I have been air drying them for a long time, but I felt like the fibers wanted to be put back together. Like sometimes we can't understand why things are placed in our way or why things happen. And Spirit is trying to show us that, we are placed in certain places for a reason. If you found yourself to this channel, to this reading today, reading two, you are a light worker. You are like these crystals. You are put there to help inspire, to help maybe diffuse a situation. Another thing that happened, there were so many things that happened, but another huge thing that happened, there was this wonderful older woman who was just like the sweetest lady. Like she was just an angel. You could just feel like she had this angelic energy. She was wearing scrubs, and she should be taken care of at this point in her crone, you know what I mean? But she's still taking care of others. She had a limp, you know what I mean? The whole thing. And she came in and she's like, hey, where's the attendant? They're my buddy. They're normally still here. And I was like, oh yeah, they had kind of a rough day. And they're like, who? She's like, who did that to her? And I was like, oh, this guy. And like, well, and it was interesting because all of these people, we were all strategically placed there at this moment, at this time, because come to find out, this guy has been traumatizing her for years. And he's an older veteran. And so she's always tried to be respectful of him and everything, but he always finds some way to traumatize her. And yesterday, I said, when I said, I didn't know how people were going to respond, but when I came in, it was like the heart, and like, it was like all of it was done. They had just given the report to the police and all this thing. I said, it says super moon, man. I go, it was a full moon, super moon last night. And it went from like, kind of like a weird, like not weird, but just kind of like everybody was still kind of in shock. Like, what the fuck just happened? Especially when an elder does something like that. I think people are like, what did they do? The way they described him, he was a very old man and had this entitlement energy, and he's just very abusive, very patriarchal, like, fuck you, like, it's my way and you better treat me, whatever. And it was just, yeah. So interestingly enough, all of these people stuck up for her, and she got to make her police report with all these witnesses. And when she called the police, he further vandalized the place. And so and then when she's like, I literally really just called them, he like freaked out. He like left his clothes like in the laundry and like left, because he was seriously afraid he was going to get arrested, because he was going to get arrested, because you can't do that. And people are realizing now. So she said, this is his name. I don't know where he lives or whatever, but like, and so he's banned from there. So he can never come back there again. And it was just really powerful. So I'm telling this nice, cut to the crone lady. She comes in to do her laundry and she's like, oh my gosh, what's going on? It's so busy. And I was like, oh, it's been crazy. And she said, oh, my poor angel. She's like, I'm going to go next door and run some errands. She's like, will you hold this machine for me? And I was like, absolutely. And she's like, I'll put my stuff right here. I'm like, I'm not going anywhere. I'm like, I got your back, sister. And so she went into the store and she comes back and we're all talking. Things are going on and everything was fine. And then all of a sudden there was a group of us talking because, you know, we were all kind of stuck there. And then the machines, they had to like flush out the machines because he was going through and pouring like softener and like liquid detergent in all the machines and like in the top loader things, and while people's laundry was in there. So it was just fucking crazy. So we were all kind of like, you know, there together. It was kind of felt like that movie Lost, or that show Lost. It was kind of like that. It's like, how did we all end up here? Like, how did we, and so many good conversations and lots of angels and light workers and witchy people. And, but the main thing I feel like I was there for the most was the beautiful crone lady comes up to us in tears. And she's like, my phone is gone. Someone stole my phone. I'm like, what? I'm like, where? I'm like, where was it? You know? I'm like, no. I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm like, are you sure? She goes, I am sure. And I said, how do you know? And she said, this nice gentleman, and this guy had just walked in. Oh, and I looked up, it was 5505, change and transformation. This guy walked in, and he started putting his laundry in. And I said, tell me what happened, because she was really upset. And I said to him, I'm like, tell me what happened. He said, she asked me to call her phone for her, and I did. And he said, it said that it was turned off. And I said, oh, I said, do you have like one of those, like, maybe it's one of those, like, we were like trying to all like give her like, well, maybe it was this or that. And she's like, no. And I said, I said, I think it's in your car. And she's like, no, we called it. It would have rang. She's like, and she's bawling. She's like, well, not bawling, but she was really upset. And she's like, this is my lifeline. She's like, this is my lifeline for work. And I was like, I can tell she was a caregiver, you know. And I said, I am telling you, I said, you know, people put the wrong numbers in all the time, blah, blah, blah. And so she said, you know, I'm going to go look again. And I said, you know, you were just at the store. And, you know, of course she was at the store buying flowers for the, you know, laundromat worker, because I don't want to say their names, you know, because she'd had a hard day. This is how much of an angel she is, you know, and she bought her the most beautiful little bouquet too. So I said, dear sister, I said, you just did something so beautiful for her. I just can't believe that spirit would do that unless you were meant to get a new phone, maybe. I'm like, I don't know. And she's like, I can't afford a new phone, and or something like that. And I said, I'm telling you right now, I'm like, will you please let me help you? And I finally broke down and I said, I'm a medium. I'm a psychic medium. And I am telling you, I don't think it's lost. I don't think that guy meant you any harm, but I think either he put in the wrong number, or when you were upset, you said that maybe you transposed the numbers. So long story short, she finally let me call her number, and her voice comes up on the voicemail. And I go, see, I said, see, it's okay. I said, did you look in your car? She's like, I looked everywhere. And I said, go next door. You probably left it. She's like, I was in self-checkout. I said, you know what? I'm telling you, Spirit's got your back. It's go check with, you know, customer service. Somebody probably turned it in. First check with the attendant, you know, by that. And so we just like kind of talked her all through it. And long story short, she found her phone. It was this really cool thing. And at the end, I ended up being there for like almost an entire day. It was a really long day. But it was all meant to be. And right before my partner came to pick me up, we had this great conversation, and I found out so much more about the story. And I said, man, I said, I don't ever go anywhere like that, especially in public, you know, on a super moon. Like, I just don't. And, you know, they were all like, you were meant to be here. And I said, absolutely, you know. So I'm saying this to you because this energy of the carnelian is wanting you to really heal the way you look at things, the way you think about things, the way you look at people, the way you think about people. And most importantly, the way you think about yourself. Because the way I see you is this beautiful, sparkly being. And if you need protection, you know, you have it. Look at all of these crystals and stones are there to protect you. Work with your crystals and stones. Don't just look at them on your altar. Also, make sure that you know what they are and that you're doing a regular cleaning practice of some kind. You know, you don't have to wash them all the time, even for the ones that you can wash, but it's important to keep around, you know, certain like cleaning crystals. Like selenite is a big one for having self-cleaning crystals. Those make such a huge difference because, you know, they will, I mean, I was gifted this by one of our tribe members, Zoe, and it's in 2 big pieces, and I have these around, and it makes a massive fucking difference. So I'm hearing from Spirit, allow yourself to connect with that. And also the fertility part and the creativity is about birthing something new or bringing something back to life that maybe you hung up before that you thought was gone. You know, don't let like that big truck just went by. Don't let the dark energies or like people scare you or spook you. I don't know why, but I feel like Spirit wants me to, give me 1 second. Hold on. Okay, reading 2. They stopped me. They're like, we're going to leave that there. Drink some water. Also, I'm going to ring some bells a little bit just to clear the energy in the air, because there are, for some of you, these may be very specific messages, or they may be for the collective. Oh gosh, when I looked down, it was 1 hour and 1 minute, like 11. So the angels are here. But also, I'm definitely feeling like somebody wants to come through. And in reading 1, we had some crossed over loved ones that had come through. So if you were drawn to reading 1, go check that out. But I'm going to just get your ears ready for this. We're going to clear some energy, and then I'm going to allow some channeling to come in for some messages. Okay. So you can either stay for that, or if you feel like you just want to go, you know, cut to working with the carnelian, carnelian. I feel like I was thinking chameleon, carnelian. And maybe some of you didn't remember the spelling. So here, that's the spelling. Okay. So you just look up like carnelian, you know, spirit medicine, spirit energy, spiritual meaning, you know, whatever words you want to put in, you know, healing properties. And if it's not in your wheelhouse to go and get some, you can still work with the carnelian without holding it in person. You know what I mean? Like you don't have to do that. And the thing I love about carnelian is they're so magical. They're all different. They all have their own, you know, I thought when I bought this, I thought it was a fire agate. I was so excited. And then one of my friends who's like a big crystal person was like, dude, that's a really cool carnelian. I'm like, is it? I thought it was a fire agate. Because sometimes, especially in my early days when I'd go and buy crystals, I'd buy like a shitload at like one time. I would buy a lot all at once. And then if I didn't write it down, I would forget. And also I'm hearing to work with your heart chakra. So work with your sacral chakra, your heart chakra. Here we go. Deep breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth. One more. So I have some spirit guides, angels named Tiffany and Stephanie, and they come through a lot. And so this might be a message for somebody. Also, they're calling me. They just opened my calendar to April 2025. I don't know, was it the beginning of this reading? I think it was, right? We spoke about April. So I just got the chills again. So April 28th of this year was a Monday. And it looks like we might have done some readings. So if Spirit calls me to, I'll put it in the description box. Always look in the description box. There's always great things in there. Recommendations of things. But it was the day after the new moon in Taurus, if that helps. And it's interesting because the words, I'm actually going to read to you. So in the reading, here's some of the words. They're not having me read anything, but there's certain words that are really popping out. Teddy Swims. So it could be maybe some of you are meant to work with or listen to Teddy Swims, really great artist. But he has this song called Simple Things. And maybe that's what they're trying to say to you. Like, you know, just get back to the simple things. I don't know why, but I saw eggplant spinach. I don't know what that means because it literally says elephant spirit, but I saw eggplant and spinach like clear as day. So it could be some of you to eat these foods. Maybe you need to omit these foods. It's going to be different for everybody. Maybe it's to get back to a healthier diet. We spoke about that in reading 1 as well. It could be that you're a Taurus, you know, but either way, and also because I am seeing the elephant spirit, you may want to work with the elephant as well. Tulsi holy basil was a big one. It's a holy herb from India. Lakshmi, we spoke about Lakshmi, wealth, prosperity, fortune. Sacred queen of the herbs is the goddess Lakshmi. And I think the reading was, lately I've been asking myself what's enough, or something like that. And then flash dance, make your dreams happen, like the music flash dance, they're like, take your passion and make it happen, right? Pictures come alive, you can dance right through your life. Okay, so that's it. All right, so I feel like that's it. Do we have any more ancestors that would like to come through? I'm going to be quiet and still for a minute. Tiffany Haddish. I just heard Tiffany Haddish. I don't know what that means. So maybe this is somebody who likes Tiffany Haddish, like she's a funny comedian. I don't know. Maybe this is a wink wink. Maybe this is something you have in common with somebody that crossed over. Maybe you like their comedy together. Tiffany's great. I love Tiffany so much because she wears her heart on her sleeve, and she tries really hard to be the best version of herself. But, you know, we all have our demons. So I feel like this is a message from somebody's crossed over. I have chills all over. I feel like this is scalping. This is some angel scalping. I'm hearing spirits saying you need some healing energy. It's time to call in the healing energy. Here. I call upon the healing energies of the universe. I call upon my higher self, your higher self. And actually, I started talking to them about it yesterday, but the laundromat attendant and I prayed for all of them yesterday, but also I said, can I send you some healing energy? And they said it was okay. So this is for all of us. All you have to say is, I accept this healing energy with grace and gratitude. Thank you, Spirit. And your higher self will do the rest, and Spirit will do the rest. So we're sending you some loving healing energy right now. And to them as well. Oscar. First I heard Oscar and it felt like an older man, like a grandpa, but then I saw Oscar the Grouch. So it could even be like maybe you had a connection with a grandpa that was like, maybe they, you know, took you to Sesame Street on ice. I have no idea why they came in. So that's a very specific thing. Also, I'm hearing that some of you are having a lot of pain and suffering and anguish on your right, anxiety. I'm feeling a lot of A words. You know, I heard asshole, but like down to your asshole, but like not like that. Like I don't want to be so, but you hear what I'm saying. Like I'm just feeling like for some of you, I know I've been having some pain and suffering in my upper right arm underneath my clavicle. So thank you, Spirit, for this healing energy. Tiffany keeps coming through. Now this one feels different. I'm seeing like a little girl named Tiffany, and she's got blonde hair, and she has cute little ponytails on either side with little bangs. She's very blonde though, very, very blonde, naturally blonde. She's little, and she's writing. It's funny because I feel like she, when she first came to me, she was riding like a tricycle. But then I feel like she graduated to a big wheel, and I feel like whoever this is, they're showing me, I got the chills. I feel like whatever, like, I almost feel like either this is a crossover level and that's saying this is you, or this is them, and like maybe they died young and this is a sibling or a friend or something. But they're not being very specific. But what they are showing me is that they're like, yeah, we went from a tricycle to a big wheel because girls can ride big wheels too. Meaning, like, I feel like maybe you grew up in an energy or around people that when you were growing up, it was like the boys had big wheels, but the girls, like, you know, maybe had like a Barbie thing or something. And you're like, fuck that shit, right? Like, I can be whomever I want to be. And that's really powerful for you. It's very empowering. So this feels like a wink, wink from them. I'm also seeing a refrigerator right now, and it's a refrigerator with the light on. And I kind of see this person like kind of hovered over it. This feels like a big brother, like maybe this little girl, if this is you, I feel like this might be even a big brother who passed over. Like I just feel like somebody's showing there. I'm just getting a lot of different things at once. And also when I'm channeling like this, my eyes are closed. They're showing me pictures and movies. So like it literally could be, all of these could be different stories. They may all be connected, or they may all be completely separate, you know, but don't make it your story if it's not your story. But I'm definitely feeling like this big brother energy, and like he was always in the fridge, and that's kind of how you remember him. Like I feel like this good memory. Maybe you rolled in on your maybe it's his big wheel and he doesn't ride it anymore, and he's like, oh, I'm so glad you still ride my big wheel, you know. And he's like, but he loves you and adores you. That's my foot squeaking. And I just see him kind of like, I feel like you're remembering a vision of him in the kitchen and the light from the refrigerator hitting his face. And it's a very dear memory. It feels very good. And I almost feel like there could even be a food obsession or something that has happened over the years that you don't even realize is connected to this memory of this person that crossed over. Very, very specific. Wow. I got the chills all over my body. I almost feel like Brad, Brent, something like that, maybe a Bill name, something like that. It definitely feels like a hero figure, and it feels like it looks like a white refrigerator, and the young man, the teenage young man, has brown short hair. He feels athletic too. Not that he's wearing athletic clothes. He's actually wearing kind of very comfortable clothes, like maybe like green cargo pants or something and like a sweatshirt, but very loving. And I feel like he was very popular too. I feel like he was very, very popular, but because he was like, kind of like a Taylor Swift, you know, where like you can't help but love them because they're just naturally that awesome all the time. Or I guess technically Travis Kelce, right? Because he's her twin flame. He's her other half. He's her better half. Anyway, anything else, Spirit? Nope, we're good. All is well. I hope these messages helped you in any way, and thank you for those who stopped by today. We love you so much with grace and gratitude. I'm going to close the portal now for reading 2, and if you're drawn to any other readings, go check them out. Until next time, all of my information to either work with me one-on-one or to contribute to this channel in any way is in the description box, and there are also links to other readings that and things that Spirit will have me, anything that was recommended. If they have me put it in the description box, it will be there. Okay, until next time, take good care of yourselves and each other. We love you. Blessed be. Aho. Bye. Welcome, reading 3. How are you today? Has anyone asked you lately how you're doing? Spirit says, we're right here. We're here. We're ready to listen. The greatest gift we have is free will, and they will never take it from you. The only time your free will is taken away from you is when it's something that you already pre-designed for yourself, and you put fail-safes in place on purpose so that those things would happen. So when you're like, where were my guardian angels that day? They're like, right here. We were right here, but that you wanted that lesson. You asked for that lesson. I'm getting the vibe from Spirit. Some of you have a really hard time with, like, why is this happening to me? Or why is this happening again? And Spirit's like, what if you flipped the script and said, oh, you know, why is this happening for me? And why is this happening again? What did I miss last time? So taking some deep breaths through the nose and out through the mouth. One more. Release, let go. Stretch it out. This came up in the first one. If you were drawn to reading 1, you may want to go check that out after this, but don't make it your story if it's not your story. Drink some water. Stay hydrated. Okay, so reading 1 and reading 2 were very different from each other. So I'm just sinking in with you. I'm allowing Spirit to guide me. I feel like we need like a moment to just go slow, be quiet. I feel like for some of you, that's really hard for you to do. And the traffic just picked up outside. And I haven't really looked at, I can't remember exactly what time it was when I started, but I want to say it was somewhere in the neighborhood of 10 o'clock or after that, not quite 11. So it's probably lunchtime because, you know, I take breaks in between the readings. And the traffic has just really picked up. And I'm feeling this antsy in your pantsy kind of energy. And it doesn't feel like anxiety so much, you know, if you go by the definition of depression is focusing on the past and anxiety is focusing on the future. This feels more like you're not really focused on the future so much, but like it's the next thing that's a little hard. It's part of control. We spoke about that in reading 1 as well. So I asked Spirit if they wanted to do more than 1 card per reading, and they said no. Which means that whenever that happens, but I can feel that there's going to be like some crossover, you know, there's probably definitely some messages in reading 1. I said this in reading 2 as well. I'm like, the first, like, there was almost like in the first, I don't even know, throat chakra, speak your truth. In the first few minutes, I said, I feel like we have 3 readings right there, you know, so there was a lot of information. But again, don't make it your story if it's not your story, but there's some real good crown jewels in there, I think, for all of us. It was a really great way to start. And reading 2 had a lot of good healing energy as well. But your energy, I feel tired as fuck, like out of nowhere. I feel super exhausted. And sometimes Spirit, because I'm such a powerful empath and can take on others' energy, I have to remember, you know, like if I switch gears really fast, and this is a message for you too, for the empaths, if you switch gears really fast emotionally, you're not bipolar. It means that you're an empath and you are picking up and receiving. You're a frequency, you're a medium. So you're picking up frequencies from all over the universe. And if you don't know how to control them and you don't know how, you know, because there's a form of like, you know, when we talk about control of like, right, like the unknown, like, I just want to make sure I have everything in case something happens. It's like, well, then you're bringing the in case something happens to you. You know, we need to focus on the letting go of what's coming next, but there is a form of controlling our own emotions and not being dragged down by other people's emotions, especially mediums and readers, because we are tapping into a lot of people's energy. And when you are working in a large office or a restaurant or, you know, anywhere that it's really busy or loud or, you know, I mean, you could work in a library and still have that, right? It could be quiet, but at the same time, people are coming and going and energies are coming and going and people leave, you know, energy trails. Some people leave an energy trail of like, you know, you're like, what the fuck just went through here? And it's like fairy magic and everybody feels like they're high on awesomeness. Or there's somebody who comes through. We spoke about this in reading too. I had this really crazy fucking thing happen. Then I told the story. It happened with this full moon in Aries. So if you're curious, go check it out, reading too. But it was really powerful. And I'm seeing all these things and understanding this energy and like how it works and how we can accept it or deflect it. Like I said, I didn't even feel the traffic energy. I mean, I heard certain things in the other readings, but with yours, like, I feel like it literally, like it picked up. And maybe this is a sign also from Spirit to get grounded, work on your meditations. You know, once you get and stay grounded with Gaia, once you are connected with the earth, like being barefoot and your hands, you know, on the earth, sitting on the earth, you know, connecting with Gaia, hugging trees, having a favorite tree that you sit with daily if possible. But at least, you know, that they're in your energy field as much as you can, or that, you know, you can just go and talk to that tree when you need someone to talk to. You know, these are very powerful energies. And I'm hearing this, like, I feel like you guys get sideswiped. Like they're showing me this kind of like you're getting sideswiped, you know, you're having a great fucking day. All is well. You go into a store, you know, and everything's good. You're having a good day. Just everything's good. But then you maybe go to pick up food. And somebody comes in and they lose their noodle over some whatever because they had a bad day, and they, you know, instead of taking it out on their family, you know, those are the ones that it's like, your husband's so calm, he's so nice, he's like, does he ever, you know, blow his lid? And you're like, no, like he's just always that calm, he's always that lovely, you know. But cut to, like, if you could see him out alone, like he's probably that guy that's like in the, you know, I need that food for my wife now, you know, where you're like, dude, fucking chill. Like, it's fucking food. Relax. We're all waiting. Like, you know, someone called in sick. They're down a person. They're like, that's not my fault. It's like, oh my gosh. No, it's not, is it? It's the universe teaching you to fucking chill the fuck out and have some patience. Yesterday, with all that shit that happened, I mean, there were so many people that were like thanking me for my patience, or were like, thank you. You know, one lady, like I said, if you want the big core story, it's in there. But this part I didn't talk about, so I'll share with you. But there was one woman who came in, and it was interesting because after I had just come into this like crazy bomb situation with police and whatever, and I'm like, I'm at a laundromat. What is happening? But I was like, fucking super full moon, man. What the fuck? And once everything had kind of calmed and cleared, everybody cleared out, I had some time to kind of like digest it. I just fucking smoked a bowl before I went in there because I'm like, I'm just gonna go do laundry, man. I'm just gonna be in my own zone. Like, it's all good. I was like, I'm gonna, I had all these like ideas of things I was gonna do and work on my channels on my phone and just chill. I was actually looking forward to it. And it did not go in any way, shape, or form the way I thought it was gonna go. I mean, literally at all. But that's where the magic happens. And sometimes we play the diffuser, and sometimes we're the bomb. And you have to ask yourself, are you the bomb or are you the diffuser? And if you think of yourself as the diffuser, then you don't have to have any fear-based concerns about what's going to happen, because you know you're right as rain. And wherever you wind up or wherever you go when you're going with the flow, you know you're meant to be there. And this isn't to like toot my horn and be like, hey, look what I did. It's like, no, I'm trying to like show you that like what life is like and how, I connected with some of the most beautiful, magical people I've ever met. Like, ever. There were a few people where I was like, I cannot wait to know you and gravitate into your orbit more. And a beautiful soul who I could tell was like searching and in need of something. And I was like, dude, I get it. Like we just all like helped each other. It was a really magical experience. And I'm noticing the more that right? Not everything can be sunshine and fucking rainbows every day. It's just not natural. We're human. We chose to walk this path. However, in the fifth dimensional energy, it is going to be more of the light, because it's not going to be the, what the fuck? It's going to be the, oh, spirit, you have such a great sense of humor. You know what I mean? And I've noticed once I've shifted my focus, I've had people who are like, dude, you are so chill. Like, you are chill as fuck. And like in this beautiful menagerie of like gifted souls yesterday, I found these fragments and these pieces of jewels of myself, because we were sharing stories and I said something and I'm like, oh gosh, I used to be just like that. And I'm leading to this person that I'm about to tell you the story about. And one of the people that had been spending some hours with me said, I don't believe that. Like, I can't, like, she literally was like, I don't believe that. I can't believe that. And I was like, oh no. I said, that's what I'm saying, is that like change is possible, but the change has to start within, and it has to start at the very nitty gritty, at the root, at the very base root seedling of when it was first planted. Because after all of these bombs had been diffused, and all of us diffusing each other's bombs, because I was having moments too, this woman comes in, and I swear it was like everything happened exactly the way it was supposed to. But everything, from the way she was dressed, her car, everything, the way, I was like, dude, even the color of her hair, it was like looking at myself in a mirror 30 years ago. But yet she was my age now. And I was like, but it was like looking at like, that's who I could have become. And she was like, what's going on? And I was trying, to explain to them as kindly and calmly as I could of all these things that had transpired, and the sheriffs were there, and it was a quite disturbing experience for all of us, and we were all trapped there like lost, and it was really cool and magical. But it was almost like every person that tried to come in that wasn't meant to be there got spat out. And so it was this moment where I realized, I'm like, this is going to be a problem. She's going to be an issue. So as she was having her like little hissy fit of not getting her way, I asked Spirit in my mind, you know, I said, okay, like, bring it on, you know, bring it on. I still have like 5 loads of laundry to do, but bring it on. Like, I can do it. I can do it. I can do it, right? I can do it with a broken heart. I was like, I can fucking do it because I'm a warrior. I can do this. And they were like, oh no. Oh no, mon frère. You know, oh no, mon chéri. They're like, no, this is your time. Like, this is your time now. Like, this other person told me the story how they defended, you know, this horrible thing that had happened to this person, and they were like, yeah, and as they told me more, like, when they first started, they were like kind of quiet, but the more we hung out, the more I could see them becoming themselves. You know, it was really powerful to watch them become empowered, and it was just a really cool event. It was like an event. I felt like I was in a healing event that like none of us like knew that we signed on for, yet we all signed on for it. You know what I mean? Like, it was really fucking cool. So what was the most magical part was I was like, okay, it's time for Southside Chicago to come out. And I'm no longer referencing Kelly, by the way. If you haven't noticed, Spirit has changed my name again to Tallulah Wren. Kelly will always be a part of me, but she will no longer be in my name, not even in Southside Chicago Kelly. Maybe they'll have me bring it back at some point, but as of now, when I talk about my Southside Chicago, it means that I was raised in an energy and in an environment for a reason. Even though it was tough, even though I was so unaccepted, and on so many levels, I was absolutely accepted because of this moment in time right now as I share this story with you. And I just told her in the most loving way, I was like, listen, there's a line here. And as one of this beautiful angel that I just spoke of, I'm not going to use names because I didn't ask permission. But she, when I was telling her what happened, when she came back, I was like, dude, after it happened, it got even, I said, I'm paraphrasing. I said something like, it got crazy again or something. And she's like, what? I'm like, oh yeah, this lady came in. And I was like, telling her, I said, she like came running in here like she fucking owned the joint. And she was like, okay, well, I'm just going to put my stuff here and I'm going to take these machines. And I'm like, and before I can even say anything, she goes, there's a queue. And I go, exactly, dude. I go, it was like nobody else existed, because a lot of the people after the shit that went down, they went out to their cars. They went to there's a grocery store next door. Like, people, you know, the phone usage isn't good in there. And so people were using their phones and their laptops like outside. It was a beautiful fall day. It was sunny and like 65. And so we were all just like chilling, you know, and this is like an old school laundromat, you know. And but anyway, it was just cool. So part 1 of this story is in reading 2, but how it all came down and what happened and it was vandalized and everything. It was really wild, but it was just a really interesting experience. And then finally I just had to say to her in the most loving way, I was like, I basically said, you need to leave because it's not going to go your way today, is what I said in the most loving way. But I said, you know, there's this laundromat, there's that laundromat. And then she really revealed herself. And as a lot of people would call her now in pop culture, they would call her a Karen. Because when I spoke of there were 2 other laundromats that weren't that far away, like 15-minute drive, not that bad. And I said, there's the one, and I mentioned it, which I love that one. It's actually really cool and funky and weird. It has a fucking Zoltar machine, and I was like, I love it, but it's just not my jam for like the way I do laundry. But I love it, and I'm glad that, and even then I was called to go there once, and the whole time I was there, like, we were all like helping each other, a lot of angel moments. And so leading up to this, so she says, oh, I'm not gonna go to that one. Ugh, it's like all homeless people, gross. Something, I'm paraphrasing. I mean, let's put it that way. I wasn't prepared for her to speak that way to me, as if I am her friend. And even so, I'm like, as a friend, I'd be like, dude, that's fucking harsh. They're human beings, you know. And she's right. It's a harsh. There are some harsh harsh parts about that environment, but there's also a lot of really cool fucking people, a lot of locals, and it has a lot of character. It's been there a long time, and it has a history. actually they told me to say it. It's called Moms, and it's really fucking interesting and neat. And yeah, a lot of, you know, but then there's a lot of really icky things, right? Because, you know, I spoke to somebody there who their daughters worked there for years, and she said, yeah, they have to put up with, you know, some pretty harsh things. Like she said they've been having this situation where they will come in and they will wash their clothes, and then the clothes that they're wearing, instead of washing them and donating them, they have a free pile there. They'll just throw their clothes in there. And it's like, no, the free pile is like, it's for clothes that have been washed, but they don't want to like put their clothes in there. It's a system. So I, you know, but people have their things. And again, it is what it is. They deal with it. They get it out. But it's like, not all of us think the same. Not all of us, you know, and it is what it is. But man, the way she said that, I was like, yeah, exactly. Like the vibe that was in there was not that. And it wasn't that we couldn't like be kind to her, or maybe, you know, but there are some people you can tell, you know, they may change, but not today. You know what I mean? Like I could tell there was nothing I was going to be able to say to this woman. And that's what Spirit was saying to me. Like, you know, we don't need that in here right now. There's been enough trauma in here. I mean, the poor, you know, person that works there, she's so amazing. And she had to deal with such a traumatic thing. But thank goddess there were all these people that were there to help her. And this, you know, young woman that was telling me, she actually like stepped up for her and spoke out, and she like chased him out. It was like a really big thing. And when she was expressing herself and sharing her, you know, part of the story, she shared with me that she worked at a Goodwill in Port Angeles, which is a really, it can be really rough over there, and more rough than Port Townsend where Mother's is. And long story short, she said she worked there during COVID. I think she was a manager, assistant manager. But she said, you know, there were so many things that she, being in management, she, you know, was a diffuser. She couldn't really speak her truth, or, you know, it was her job. And so she said, I don't know what it was. She's like, something came out of me. And then she started to tell me this story. And I said, yeah, right. Like, and she had a moment, an awakening of her own power. And it was beautiful to watch her, like, you know, come into this empowerment and to own it, you know, like it's always been there, like it walks with her every day, right? That's who she is. But, you know, sometimes we don't realize something's laying dormant. And I feel like for you, reading 3, even though we haven't turned your card yet, I feel like there's something that is laying dormant that needs to come out before you move further and deepening down, you know, and before you ease on down the road. You know what I mean? Speaking of Wicked 2, I think tickets go on sale today, either today or tomorrow. And it's really powerful. And, you know, there are a lot of people that are probably going to be buying like premiere because they want to like get dressed up and go to the event and all that. And though that sounds super fun, I feel like if I'm meant to go to that, somebody will have a ticket for me. You know what I mean? Otherwise, I went to Wicked last year. My birthday's December 13th, and it had been out for weeks. The only sad thing was that I would have liked to have seen it on a bigger screen, but it was very intimate and beautiful the way I saw it last year in this really cool old theater called the Rose Theater in Port Townsend. It's like from like the 1800s. It was so fucking cool. And I got like witchied out for my birthday, and my birthday was on Friday. The fridge just went on. My birthday was on Friday the 13th last year, which is the number of the witch and the number of the, you know, divine feminine. And if you add it together, it's number 4, right? Getting grounded. So it was really, really cool. But anyway, so I feel like, the next installment of Wicked is going to be really powerful. So your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to go and watch Wicked, because I feel like if you just allow yourself to open up and really, if you haven't seen Wicked yet, go watch it and then go see it at the theater. Trust me, you will be like, thank you so much. But the one thing I did love is when I went on my birthday, even though it was a Friday night, and on Friday the 13th, I was shocked how empty the theater was. And it was the same thing. Like we ended up like, a bunch of us after the movie ended up having this amazing discussion about it. It was like, what is happening right now? But it was all meant to be. And especially because I was so dressed up, and I have no problem telling people it's my birthday. I love my birthday. I used to like have a weird thing around it. Now I love it. And so people are like, oh, happy birthday. You know, I'm like, especially last year, I was like, you know, it was Friday the 13th and it was so witchy and magical. So I'm feeling like for you guys, You know, there's something inside of Wicked. I mean, I'm not fucking kidding you. When I was watching that movie, the way she sang, something has changed within me. Something is not the same. It was like, I mean, my whole, like, I was like, blah, I was bawling because it hit a fucking nerve. And I realized that there was something like it woke the witch. And I feel like over this last year, it has woke so many people to their light source, their heart. So whatever, I'm feeling a really tight, like as if somebody's squeezing my heart chakra. I'm feeling that from spirit, from you. So it's time to release the Kraken. Open your heart chakra. Let's dive in and see what your card says. Okay, so you have, oh, is it Stick-tight in Serpentine. Now take a screenshot of this. This isn't a common one. So if you can have access to it, get it. If you can't, you can still work with the energy. When this reading is over, your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to seek it out, okay? It's to seek it out. It wants to work with you. It's calling for you to work with it, okay? So we're going to read from the book, but you can, we're going to read from the book, but you can also, oh, they wanted to show the heart. They had me put that calcite like that. Exactly. Doesn't that look like this rainbow calcite? Doesn't it look like a heart? And they had me put the amethyst in front. So we need to, oh, and yes, thank you, Spirit. They said go down a little bit more. That's right. And they had me put the jade there. Talk about a powerhouse. There's a lot of really cool stones and crystals all around there, but I'm definitely feeling, and this is a still bite, if you're curious. That's a still bite. And the other ones are not calling my attention to. So it could even be that you're meant to work with all five, you know, the one on the card, the rainbow calcite, which is this, jade, amethyst, and still bite. They all have different messages and they all have different things to say. So research that name of that crystal, you know, take some notes and research it. And you can look up spiritual meaning, healing, you know, whatever, all of it, you know, find out where it comes from. And be mindful, if you have the luxury to purchase it, please go and do so. And if you're going to do it online, make sure it's a trusted source. There's a lot of fakes out there, you guys. So many. And certain things like this, they can fake things like this. It's not that hard. Malachite was a big one, you know? Like, this is a real... Where is it? I knew they had me bring it in for a reason. This is a real malachite. And you can tell certain malachites, like, I know this person, but still... the malachites that look like square, like they were cut in like out of clay, it's because they were. And there's so many phonies going around. It's really gross that people do that. I mean, I guess, you know, you can look at it as a placebo, but at the same time, I'm like, no, this is a very, this is very powerful energy. They have them. And a lot of energies and entities live in crystals and stones, you know, and that's why it's good to get it in person. So you can, like, you know, there might be one, but there might be 100. And that one that your eye is drawn to, or you pick up a few, and that one that just feels like your hand is electrocuted, you know, but in the best way. Like, you're like, this is it. This is the one. Okay, so the key words are meditation, clearing your energy centers, detoxifying your thoughts. Fear and negative thoughts are preventing you from experiencing peace and joy in your life. They are blocking your creativity, and as a consequence, your life seems dull and dreary. You can change this situation by consciously choosing to love and trust the universe instead of fearing it. Sit quietly in meditation and invoke the healing power of love, imagining yourself bathed in beautiful healing energies. Visualize all the colors of the rainbow swirling within and around you. Feel these beautiful... Ooh, they want me to read this again. Also, they never hardly ever have me stop mid-sentence, drink some water. Out of nowhere, I got like super parched. So I feel like they're like, make sure you keep drinking water. In the fifth dimensional energy, we are aligned more to the water. Not to mention, we're going into the Scorpio season in a few weeks. in real time. I'm doing this reading on October 8th, 2025. Okay, so now, if you can, close your eyes. Visualize all the colors of the rainbow swirling within and around you. Feel these beautiful healing colors flowing through your mind and heart, and imagine your thoughts being infused with eternal light. Practice this each day, as it will help transform your negative and fearful thoughts to positive inspirations. There is nothing to fear. You are eternally surrounded by love. And they said, that's it. All right, you guys, these are your messages. I hope they helped you in any way. And if you're drawn to any other readings, please go check them out. Until next time, all of my information, if you would like to work with me one-on-one or contribute to this channel, is in the description box, along with links of things that, you know, in each reading or whatever you're drawn to, Spirit has me put links for things for you to look into as well. Other readings, it could be a music source, whatever it is. I don't know. I feel like there's some things I won't know from reading 4 as well. So anyway, until next time, we love you. Blessed be Aho, and take good care of yourself. Bye-bye. Welcome, reading 4. I love you. I'm sending you a big hug right now. Oh my goodness. I have been feeling, as I was setting up your altar, I felt so homesick. I felt really homesick. I haven't felt like, it feels like a little kid at a party homesick, you know, where you're all excited for the sleepover, but then when you really get there, you're like, oh, I don't want to sleep with all these kids. I want to be in my bed. I want to be at home with my mom, you know, like, there's nothing wrong with that, right? Like, I want to be at home with my people. Like, you like your friends, but maybe you don't want to sleep in the same room with them, you know? I had a friend once, she drove me mad. She had, what do they call it? It's not her fault. It was an anxious disorder that she had, where she would kick her feet while she was sleeping. And whenever, you know, and of course your little, she had a nice huge bed, so we slept together, you know, like it was normal, you're little girls. And I remember I said to my mom, I don't want to sleep over there anymore. And she was like, why? And I'm like, because she kicks me in her sleep, you know? So it kind of feels like that. And I also am feeling like, here's the deal. I'm going to show you some stuff, okay? Before we jump into your card, I'm going to show you a few things that wanted to, sorry, I'm trying to lean forward here. And don't mind my nails. I'm giving myself a manicure in a few days, but I'm letting my nails rest until then. But like, I feel like for some of you, like maybe this is a heavy one, so I got to be mindful. I don't want to drop it in the candle. I feel like maybe this will make you feel less homesick. I don't know where you come from, or, you know, whether it's in this planet or another place, but I just feel like there's a few things that they just wanted to show you. This one's really interesting, this side. Like that, in that view, that was really interesting. Okay, so we're going to put this up here. And then this is the next one that wants to be seen. Now, this is a chevron amethyst, but I feel like for some of you, this could be healing energy. Just feeling the homesick. But you know what? They don't want you to feel homesick because you're home. I was having this moment the other day, and this song came on by Philip Phillips called Home. And if they call me to, I'll put a link in the description box. That's probably what it was in reading 3. I was like, you know, saying my little repertoire at the end. And I said, I feel like there's something that's going to be a link that's not just readings. And that's what it is. And the lyrics are, settle down, it'll all be clear. Don't pay no mind to the demons, they fill you with fear. Oh, the trouble, it might drag you down. Wait, hold on. The trouble, it might drag you down. If you get lost, you can always be found. Just know you're not alone, 'cause I'm gonna make this place your home. Come on. Oh, I love his live version. I love Philip Phillips. And you guys, you're the only reading. You're the 4th one, the last one, and you're the only reading that there's a frog out there croaking. So work with the frog energy. Frogs are so fucking powerful. They're so powerful. And in real time, today is October 8th, 2025. And hey, call out to all my witches, right? This is your home. And look at, this is your last one. This is a really exciting one. This is a shell. Oh gosh, it looks like a tornado. I've had this shell for a minute and I've never seen that before. Wow, that's fucking powerful. Do you guys see that? It kind of looks like a sky. And it could even be winds. Like that could be a tree blowing. But this looks like the base of a mountain or a hill. And this looks like a reflection of like water. Wow, that's really beautiful and powerful. And again, this could be a home on this planet, or it could be, you know, somewhere else. But when there's so much here, also, oh, they're going to have me do this. How fun. Okay, so I'm going to show you it this way. This is the seashell dry, okay? Ooh, gosh, I'm seeing so many things in this right now. But I don't want to say too much because I'm like, I feel like I was allowed to say that, but this time I kind of feel like I want you, although I'm like, tell me that doesn't look like a car. Okay, that's it. Okay, they told me, be quiet, it's theirs. But they said in a cute way, like Lula. Okay, so now, look at this. See, you guys are seeing it this way, but then in a second, you're going to see it in the way that I saw it. In the salt water. Oh, wow, there's so much going on there. You guys see a face in there? You see the eyes up there? Holy shit. Okay, all right, I'll stop. Ooh, come on. I'm like, it's too much. I'm like, please. They're like, no. Oh, shit. All right, so you saw enough. Now, oh my God, where'd it go? It's like it disappeared. Okay, seriously? There's only like, oh, there, it fell in there. I was like, there's only so many places it can go. Okay, hold on. The froggy was going nuts when I went to go do the water. Okay, so this is what I saw when I first saw it in the water. I was like, what? Here, let me, you know what I'm going to do? Hold on. I'm going to zoom in a minute. Hold on, my hands are wet. I don't want to, if this stops for any reason and we have to do another video, I apologize, but I'm going to stay strong. Oh, I guess I can do it that way. Hold on. Okay, cool. So check this out. So that's what it looked like in the water. I was like, what is that? It was just like a dot. And then that, like, you know, it was dark, but the sun was there. So I saw a completely different light. And they're having me put the flash on for a second so you can kind of see it. They want you to see it in like all ways. Look at how fast it's drying. Look at how fast it's drying. I feel like they want to look at it this way. The scrying is so fun. Okay. When it goes out of focus, I take that as, you know, but I mean, look at that. Tell me that doesn't, I was like, it looks like a wave. It looks like a mountain, the bottom. And then this looks like a moon to me. That's why I was so drawn. Look at how fast it dried. Okay. So there was some scrying in there and they just wanted you to feel like you were home. And maybe it's for some of you that you miss living by water and they just wanted you to feel like you were at home for a minute. Okay. So let's see what your card says. You have, oh, green selenite. Oh, you guys, I love green selenite. I haven't had any in a really long time. You know, a lot of us are used to this, you know, the kind of old school, you know, selenite, but there are different colors and they do have different properties. So your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to research and work with green selenite. And I feel like for some of you who don't know the spelling, I'm going to put this down a bit and take these crystals out of the way so you can see it. And we're going to turn this flash off too. Because we kind of like the vibey vibe we had going on. We had a vibey vibe. Can you? Oh, shoot. Sorry, guys. It's because the wax is getting really hot from here. That's normally why I put the candle. So you know what? Maybe they want me to rearrange this. Also, like, I just thought this too. I'm like, I feel like they want you to see that moon. So in real time, we are in between we're in the waning gibbous energy of the moon, but I feel like when we get to the third quarter moon, which is actually, let's see, I feel like real time means something for you guys, so hold on, okay? I'm also trying to find the best place for me to put everything. I feel like they want this to go back up there. They want the energy there. Okay, so in real time, so today's Wednesday the 8th, and the third quarter moon, yeah, that's what I thought. It's on Monday, the 13th. Oh, shit, we've been talking a lot about the 13th. It's also my mom's birthday. Happy birthday, Mama. So I feel like there's some significance there for you. So let's see what the card has to say. Okay, I paused for a second because Toad the Wet Sprocket just told me that he wanted to come in. Oops, there he is. Here's Toad the Wet Sprocket. He just lost his head. Ha 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 ha. Sorry if that hurt your ears. That's why he was ribbiting too. So we got like mixed messages in here. So after we read from the book, we are going to read, or excuse me, we're going to pull from there because I feel like there are some messages in there for at least one person, right? Okay, so here are the messages from the selenite, the green selenite. So the keywords are healing, tranquil pleasures, daydreams, and imaginings. Life is a river of dreams. Simply relax and enjoy the journey. Over the coming days, you will find yourself daydreaming, envisioning your life as you would truly love it to be. Your thoughts are bathed in the tranquil pleasures of love, romance, and ideal relationships. Yet these imaginings are not fantasy, rather they are glimpses of the future. You are entering a time of great joy, creativity, and tranquility. This time your dreams and wishes really do come true. Keep an open heart and mind, and above all, trust in the magical and healing power of love to transform your life. A period of great joy and happiness is just around the corner. Yes! Oh my gosh. I was watching some of Taylor Swift's interviews for her new album. Man, she just really nailed it. You know, if they call me to, I'll put some links below to check them out because they were just the way that she looks at the world and the way that she looks at life is just truly inspiring. And you could tell it's very real and very natural. And she's an earth angel. I mean, I have no doubt in my mind that she was placed here, and Travis too, you know. And also, I mean, it's so sad to me that I see these negative things that people will post about them and how it's fake, and I'm like, dude, you know, just because you've never experienced it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. And I'm telling you from personal experience, true love does exist. And also, I don't know if you guys noticed, but when we started this, they had me pull these in, and these are very new to me. And I'm going to throw some in right now and see if we have any messages from Spirit for you as well. So I told him if it came up as a flat, that was our message. And so since this one's tilted, I'm going to yank it out. Although there was a 11 at the top, a 3, 2, and a 1 at the bottom. So I feel like 11 is the number of the angels, and they're like 3, 2, 1, get ready, baby, right? Like, because this is what is real. And also because this is the sign that is facing us, I feel like that is the energy for someone as well. But on the top, we also have, I believe that's Scorpio. So it's Cancer and Scorpio. So these could be timelines. And also, if I got them wrong, sometimes I get the symbols wrong. If I did, please correct me. I'm not above that at all, right? I'm not an astrologer. That's why I just got these. I haven't really even played with them or practiced them or learned much about them yet. But I was really drawn to bring them in. And I thought, oh, it's probably just to like maybe bring something up for somebody or like to make them feel more at home. But right now I'm getting a little wink wink from Spirit. So no, I believe this is the sun. I believe that symbol is the sun. And if it is, I feel like that's what Spirit's saying to you. Like, here comes the sun, do, right? Like, things are good. Like, things are good. You have to believe it. Also, when I looked down, I saw the number 4. Let's see if do we have any number that you want to talk to us? Okay, we do. Oh, this is really exciting because, is this a 6 or a 9? And maybe it could be both. I'll have to look at the die. But when I started this, I got the number 6 for you guys. I don't know if it was in your... Let's see if there's a 9 on here that has a... Oh, it is a 6. So that's cool. Or was it ambiguous? Now I'm like, wait, did I see a dot? Hold on. The dot must have been there and I just missed it. So whatever you saw, that's what it was. Okay, and all right, we're going to dive into the book, and then we are going to get our messages from our little beautiful toady friend. Okay, Selenite Green. Oh, we read it. Oh my goddess, Spirit. This is my 4th reading. Plus, I mean, honestly, the last several days have been like, I mean, I don't even know. It's like, where am I? Who am I? Right? Like a toad. It's like, Zoolander, who am I? I mean, honestly, I've been going like balls to the wall. My house is only like half put back together from the laundromat because I got back so late. It was such a crazy day. But it's good, right? Because I'm going with the flow of it. All right, let's see. So I shook it up. And now I'm going to, because there's so much going on in here, I'm going to actually do it at the space next to it. So you just got to trust me. Okay, Spirit, what messages do we have for reading 4? Do we have any extra messages? Okay. Wow, I shook that thing hard too. You know, sometimes when a lot doesn't come out, I'm like, really? Oh, oh, look at, he got a little burnie on his eye when I dropped him in the fire. Sorry, buddy. All right, I'm going to set them up. Well, I think they want me to look at them. Okay, hold on. I feel like I want to put this on, but not because I want to blind you, but I need to look at the words. Okay, so we have sight. And I'm just going by whichever ones my eyes look at first. I had a feeling this was coming here for a reason. Okay, so we have sight. And then my eyes went to this one. Ooh, clicking. Nice. I heard to the left. Okay. My eyes went to this one. And it is an R. My eyes really want to go to this one. Let me see. Ooh, the percent sign. I don't know if you guys can see that. That's over there. This wasn't in there, but my eyes were really drawn to it. This is a little piece of rosemary, and R is there, so I'm going to take that. So work with rosemary itself or rosemary oil or both. This one is, ooh, open. Were we not just talking about the heart chakra, opening your heart chakra? Wow. Oh, and I just heard open your eyes. Open your eyes. Like what you're looking for is right in front of you. Oh, Chicago. Oh my gosh, we were just talking about Chicago. And look, it just flipped over. So it's blank white. So I'm hearing like a clean slate. So maybe it's for some of you guys, you know, I'm from Chicago. It could be like it's time for a clean slate. I was just talking about how I changed my name. I finally let go of Kelly and changed it to Tallulah Wren. So maybe that's for some of you guys. Maybe you're ready for a change. So this looks like this might be the back of something, but I always look at both sides of it just in case. It could be, you know, it could be the colors. It could be the way that the letters look. And then on here, it says, ooh, again. Okay. My eyes are going up here again. And then my eyes went to this one. Ooh, sugar. Sugar. I felt like they wanted me to put sugar by the percent. Okay, I'm going to see if any fell over here. Let me see. I don't see any over there. And what's this? Oh, it's another thing of rosemary. Okay, so that's all that came out. I'm going to do one more little look-see around because sometimes they jump around. Jump around. Jump around. Jump up, and get down. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to go and put this on there. Now just see if there's anything that's jumping out to you. Okay. And you can move them around. I just put them, you know, it could be, you know, look, everything's starting to click. I'm open to moving somewhere new. Maybe I'll move to Chicago. You know what I mean? Like, it could be anything. Like I said, the R could be for rosemary, but it could also be for a person. Maybe they want you to lower your sugar percentage. Maybe you're having too much sugar. But, I mean, if you moved them around, you know, there's a lot of, it could be a lot of different things, you know. So, all right, let me see. Do we have any more messages? Work with the frog spirit medicine. And then obviously work with selenite. Oops. Oopsie. I'm going to take Froggy away. He's done now. So you just go into like a search engine and just say like, you know, selenite green, spiritual meaning, you know, whatever, you know, healing energy, whatever sounds good to you, whatever feels good to you when you're looking it up. And if you can afford to do so, then definitely get yourself some green selenite. Okay, Spirit. Do we have any more messages for reading 4 before we move on? Nope. All right, you guys, that's it. Until next time, take really good care of yourselves and each other. All of my information to work with me one-on-one or to contribute to the channel in any way, all of those links are in the description box and on my channel. And for those of you who don't know, we are not doing Sacred Sunday anymore. At some point, I think I will be doing something like that again, some type of series. It may not be until after the holidays because they had me do that in the summer, and I was thinking they may have me do that in the winter. I don't know. But it's called the Sacred Circle, and we're going to do live sessions again, but it's going to be more spontaneous. So like, make sure you keep your notification bell on because it could be tomorrow. You know what I mean? They'll be like, go live. I'm like, okay, you know, probably not because it's a big week for me, but you know what I'm saying? But I'm definitely going to be going live again at some point. It's just that series was created for a reason, and also to bring people to this channel and to this tribe who are meant to be in our orbit and in our fold as we are awakening rapidly, more and more each day on the planet. All right, you guys, until next time, my eyes keep going to here, and I have to say there's something with the third quarter moon. So it's either, if you watch this in real time, it's either coming up today's Wednesday, October 8th. So it's something with this coming Monday, or it's another, like whenever you watch this, it's like the next third quarter moon, but there's definitely something, and it doesn't mean it's going to be anything bad or good. I'm not getting anything either way. I just am feeling this energy. So it's going to be different for each of you and each of your story. I really feel that from Spirit. Otherwise, you know, if I have the information, I love to give it freely. But when I don't have it, they're not giving it. So, all right, we'll see you next time. Love you, love you, love you. Blessed be Aho. Bye.